Hi, I'm Jonathan. I'm a cartoonist, an illustrator, and an educator. I've done these books, Americus, Wild Weather, and I have a book coming out in November it's called Odessa. This is just a zine that I made kind of before I even made the book. But I'm here on behalf of my friends from Create More Fear Less, and I'm going to be making these videos that are exercises. I think when I was younger, and even now still, I really struggle with getting things right and getting things perfect. And something that I've worked on for a long time really was trying to let go and be looser and just allow myself the freedom to just draw and just play. And so that's what these 8 videos that I'm going to be making are going to be focusing on. But before we get started, what I want to do is every video we're going to start with a worry release exercise. And what that is it's just a little ritual that we can do, that we're going to do before all of the projects. And what it's going to be doing is if we have worries or anxiety and we kind of just keep them up bottled inside, or I guess you could think of it like a soda pop or something, right? Like if you had a soda and you shook it up and shook it up and shook it up, and then when it opens up, it explodes, right? Anxiety is kind of like that inside us. And so it's going to be just this little exercise to sort of, in a real simple way, release that anxiety from inside us and kind of get it out into the world. And so when I was doing Create More Fear Less classes, when we had classes, we would do them on rocks. We call them worry stones. But if you don't have rocks, that's okay. I actually only have these rocks that I used for those that I brought home with me. What I'm going to be doing for these videos is you can use anything. If you want to have, if you have rocks, that's great. If you just want to use paper, I'm going to use these sticky notes. And so what I want us to do is I want us to take a moment and just take a deep breath and think about what are the things that are worrying us. What are things that we're kind of rolling around in our head that have been weighing on us. And I want you to take whatever you're going to use to draw or write, and we're going to go ahead and write them down. All right. And if you're not comfortable writing, if you're more of a visual person, you can draw it too. That works great. And if you want, you can share it. I know that we're just, here interacting through the video, but sometimes sharing it, maybe you can share it with a sibling or a parent or a friend. But I'm going to go ahead and share because I think sometimes sharing, it helps. It's just another way to release it. So I wrote down video. I don't know if you can see that. And because something I've been worrying about is I've never really made videos like this before. And kind of like with my drawing, I'm really nervous about getting it right and doing it right. So I wrote that down. And so now that it's written down, there's lots of things we can do with it. If you want to, you can fold it up, you can put it in your pocket, and you can think about it some more. If you're tired of worrying about this, you can crumple it up and throw it away. Or what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to set them aside. I should have had an envelope today. I'll remember to get one for the next video. But I'm going to keep all my worries. I'm going to fold them up as tight as I can, and I'm just going to set them aside for now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in an envelope, and maybe at the end of the 8 weeks, I'll go through them and I'll kind of look at them and see what have I been worrying about the last 8 weeks. Am I still worrying about those things? Maybe I'm not worrying about, like, I imagine after 8 videos, I'm not going to be worrying about making videos anymore, or maybe I still will be. But anyhow, so you can do whatever you want with your worry. What's comfortable for you. And I'm just going to set it aside. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to dive into the project for today. And so the project for today, first off, I guess what I'm going to talk about is what you need. So all of these exercises are going to be pretty simple. I like to just worry about the drawing and not worrying about all the fancy tools that we're using. You can really use anything from a pencil to a pen, to Sharpies. But what you will need for today is you're going to need some paper to draw on. I'm just using regular typing paper. Actually, I'm using cardstock. It's a little bit thicker. But you can use just typing paper if you want. You could use notebook paper. You could use a garbage bag or like a paper bag if you want to tear that off. It's up to you. You're going to need something light to draw with. And so that could be like a pencil, even just a pencil that you draw lightly with. It could be a light colored pencil like yellow or light blue or orange. I'm actually going to use these highlighters that I have. So I have an orange and a blue highlighter. So I'm going to use those, and then you're going to need something dark to draw with. Again, this could be a pencil. It could be a pen. I'm going to be using maybe some Sharpies, or I have this brush pen, which is a fancy tool, but the Sharpies will work fine for you if you want. So this is called like a shape exercise. I don't really know what to call it, but it's a good exercise that we use when as a cartoonist, what we have to do is we have to sort of simplify things that we see in the world and kind of make them interesting. All right, because cartooning isn't really making something realistic. And I think when I was younger, what I would do is I would draw, and let's say I had to draw a face. You know, I would draw the oval, the ears, and then I'd add hair, and so that would be the face, which is great. And then if I had to draw a different face, maybe I would draw the oval again, and then and that's how I would draw all my faces, right? The problem with that is you can see that like they're all kind of like this. And it's not as fun, it's not as weird, it's not as goofy. I mean, this is fine, but I think what I like about this exercise is it gets us to think outside of this oval, okay? So what we're gonna do, if you have all your supplies, actually, sorry, I didn't give you any time. If you want to, you can pause the video and grab your supplies. Or if you hopefully have them already. And I guess that's something just to remind you too, is anytime if you need to just stop and work on something or stop and do something, feel free to pause the video, and I'll be here waiting for you, okay? So if you have all your stuff, right, we do? You just need one more second? Okay. All right. What I want you to do is I want you to take one of your light drawing tools, and I'm going to pick the blue highlighter I have here. And I want you to, without thinking, I want you to draw 5 shapes on your paper. I don't want them to be like simple shapes, like a square, rectangle, circle. I mean, I guess you can if you want, but I think the exercise is more fun if we kind of draw weirder shapes. Sometimes it helps draw what you think chewed bubblegum looks like. That's like a good prompt. But I'm going to go ahead and just draw them. So I'm going to go here and do this. And then we're trying to get 5 on here. If you don't get 5, that's okay. And I need 1 more. All right. And so you can see I drew my shapes here. And I'm actually going to fill them in. You don't have to fill them in. Maybe I won't fill them all in. All right, looks like this highlighter is kind of, maybe I won't fill them all in because I don't want to waste everyone's time while I'm sitting here doing this. But it's kind of nice. I kind of like when I fill it in because it kind of makes it stand out a little bit more as opposed to just the lines. Okay, I lied. I think I'm going to fill in maybe 1 more. We'll do. Okay, I'll do 1 more. All right. I'll do this one. Let's see. I don't know if this is gonna make it. This is kind of a dry highlighter. Oh, maybe it'll be okay. But again, if you don't have a highlighter, you could just draw very lightly the outline, or you can draw these shapes with your pencil. You don't have to fill them in like this. Like I said, I'm only going to fill in half of them. So we have our weird shapes, and some are filled in, some of them aren't. And so what we're going to do is I want us to, traditionally when you're doing this exercise, you're going to do it, it's like a face exercise. And it's like, what you'll do is you look at these shapes and you try to turn them into a face. All right. And so you see how these shapes are so much weirder and so much more interesting than just these ovals that we drew. But if you don't want to do faces, you can do anything that you see. I might do a little bit of both of them. I mean, I said traditionally the exercise, but really it's kind of whatever you want. If you don't want to draw on the shapes, you don't have to. Really, the idea is just trying to get us to see things a little bit differently and trying to loosen up and just have fun with our drawing. Instead of worrying about, is everything turning out perfect, just allowing ourselves to have some fun and to play. Because I think for me, whenever I'm scared or I'm anxious, anytime I put pen to paper, pencil to paper, and just draw and just let my mind wander, it actually really helps me. It makes me feel better. It's kind of like going for a walk, or going on a bike ride or something. It just kind of helps calm me down, and I think it's a way where it kind of like I release that anxiety by sort of outputting things. So, all right, so this is what we're going to do, is I'm going to take a look at these shapes. And all right, here I have one. So, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start drawing and turn it into I'm going to turn this first one into a face. And you don't have to fill it all. You don't have to have it be completely in the shape that you drew. Sorry, I got caught up drawing for a little bit. So this one, you can see this first face. It kind of made me think of like Arnold Schwarzenegger in The Terminator or something. And so that was that face. So let's see if I can't think of something else. So, all right. I don't know why I'm just into... Alright, so this next one, I kind of turned it like this. Can you see it? Sorry, I gotta make sure I'm holding it up right. And it made me think of like a genie or something. And I'm not gonna do all of them. Maybe I'll just do one more. And let's see if I can't come up with something cool for this one. And then I turn this one into a woman with like a beehive, kind of resting her face on her chin. All right. So you can see, I know that I did this kind of fast. Again, if you don't feel like you have to be rushed, like take your time. The whole point is to have fun with it, right? Honestly, I'm impressed that I did these as fast. A lot of times I sort of huff and haw about trying to not get it, not able to see something. But if you need to, pause the video and take your time and turn the paper and see what you can get with it. And what we can do is, that's basically the exercise. It's just sort of a fun way for us to just draw something a little bit different instead of just drawing the same things that we draw over and over again. And what's really fun is if you can do this exercise with somebody else, and you take turns drawing shapes on the pages, and then you pass them, and you have to draw create drawings based off the shapes that somebody else created, and then it's fun to compare them and see what everyone came up with. But I still think it's fun even if you're just doing it by yourself. And what is fun too is we can take these and kind of, these are just kind of goofy sketches that we did. And what we can do is we can actually take those and build off of them. So now, if I were to draw, let's go back to the sheet of paper. If you were to be like, Jonathan, draw Arnold Schwarzenegger, maybe I would do this. And again, that looks fine. But maybe what I can do is I can take this drawing that I did, and maybe I'll play off it a little bit, and I'll use it. Anyway, and this is basically, I'm just cleaning it up a little bit. Making it a little fancier. But you can see how I kind of took it and cleaned it up a little bit. And I think that, to me, this one is a little more fun than this one, because I'm like playing up the chin, I'm shrinking the top of his head, the buzz cut. And so to me, I think that's a little more fun. I think this is a little bit better cartooning. But you don't have to do that. Again, the main exercise is to just sort of like have fun and think of things a little bit differently. And so I think that's kind of the end of the first exercise. I want to thank you for being here and taking the time. And I think the next project, what we're going to do, it's actually going to be taken straight from Create More Fearless's website, which if you haven't visited, it has a lot of other really great projects. But we're going to be taking this project called Perfectionist Unite, and we're going to purposely be making the worst art we can possibly make. And so that's what we're going to be doing next time. So I hope you join us. And again, thank you for your time, and stay safe. All right, bye.